All right, and we are live. I'm 3. I'm joined here by Excel. This
Hello.
is the APAI Round 5, Chimera versus OP BHB. OP BHB is Axis on SME, Chimera's allies. Let's get the show on the road.
So at least in terms of the tournament, I think these are the top two teams at the moment facing off.
Yeah,
I guess other than GBI, right?
Yeah, GBI is actually pretty impressive for their first. This is their first tournament, right?
Yep, first tournament at least international that I've heard of.
Flipped to the wrong map, did they not?
No. But OPBHB, as far as I'm aware, they're currently undefeated in the 35v35 tournament, and Chimera has really only lost to GBI. So, I mean, these are really the top teams, other than GBI excluded, that are going to be fighting here. Actually, they seem to be kind of mixed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're flipping again.
Yeah, swapping to flip.
But yeah, Chimera's actually, I think they're my favorite team to play against. We faced them in the summer on PHL, and they had some very interesting tactics. I've probably watched that match more times than I've watched any other match.
It's always the more enjoyable when newer teams are coming on the block, so you're not just watching kind of the repeated meta over and over again. A little bit of twist.
Yeah, and they're hungry to win, so they spend a lot more time on prep and put a lot more thought into the different tactics and strategies to try to shake things up a little bit.
What map are they actually playing on? Was it SME?
SME, yeah.
Okay. That especially, since it's a 35v35, there's some maps that are easier to play on than others compared to a 50v50. SME in particular, I feel like controlling the city is just so much harder with only 35 players. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they keep their spread, depending on what the point layout is. If it's church in the middle and then a corner point after that, it's going to be really difficult to really have the proper map control to push from point to point that you really want to go for. So it gives a lot of opportunity for someone to flank around to the south or to the north on the opposite side of the point.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they divvy up the players on their team, because I know that's one of the hardest things about the 35v35 is figuring out which roles you're going to drop from your normal 49v49 roster. I know that we struggled a lot with that when we ran a 35v35 scrims. Like, do you run all 3 arty the entire game? Do you drop down to 2? Do you drop down to 1? You know, how many tank crews are you running?
Do you even drop down to 2-man tank crews just to get the armor on the field?
Yep. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that adds a whole separate element of kind of strategic planning that, you know, you're basically straying away from typical structures and figuring out, trying to estimate what your opponent's going to do, how much they're going to commit to offense or defense, and compensate for that.
I think probably the easiest point to do the 35v35 on for SME is probably going to be Hospice, I would think. Because if you're able to push the enemy out of that kind of, that north part, or the active sector in that city, you really just need to have maybe a squad covering east or west, and then the rest are just making sure that they don't flank to the south. I feel like that really seems like the easiest transition.
Yeah, I agree.
I really hope it's church though. I just want to see what people come up with for that.
Yep. Church is honestly probably. I mean, checkpoint's pretty good for like infantry fights, but I would really like to see church.
Oh,
There it
it's
is.
church. There we go.
Church to Mason is not an easy transition either.
No.
So I'm waiting
I mean, you
for
get a
Gato to make a squad.
okay. Yeah, I mean, you get a red zone in hospice, and it'll be impossible to track that down if they have a squad up there, cutting you off.
Oh yeah.
I mean, normally it's fine to send 2 or 3 guys up there, but you just don't have enough people. You got to push south. You got to watch your east, west. You got to, I mean, you got to be covering all 4 corners of this.
Some boys and girls.
All right. We're live. Who's that commanding? Benny Vici? Is he a newer OP player?
He's been there a while. This is my first time seeing him actually command though. Which is pretty interesting to get maybe a newer commander. Maybe he's got a lot of experience in pub play, but usually, it's a whole different game doing it in comp.
Yeah,
But
that is.
he's definitely been playing for probably at least 6 months, probably more.
I will give it to OP. They have a lot of depth in those roles like commander, squad lead, things that a lot of teams struggle to get depth in, just because
Yep.
I mean they throw people in the fire like every match.
Yeah.
So
Just got to get people comfortable with it.
let's check out what Kamara's doing over here.
Check out their Arty cameras. I want to see if are they doing anything special on RDD? Just getting walls up.
Yeah, just some barricades. It doesn't look like they're gonna have 2 guns off the opener. Maybe they're just gonna aim them at different points. Oh, it must be the other gunner. So they're gonna start with 2 Arty. Let's see, OP's gonna start with all 3, it looks like.
Yep. And this is the thing that I know that we had decided with the with our scrim for the 35v35 is that the artillery is going to be most important on the opener. So you need to have people, at least all 3 guns start, and then you're going to flex people up if it's needed or not. But
Yeah.
I feel like you really need to have 3 guns off the start. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
If you could open up your map, what's the tank situation like for OP?
Looks like they're running all 3.
Okay. No extra spawns, just running the natural. Are they all 3
2
crew?
mans.
2 mans. Okay.
Yep, light tank and recon is 2-man. Looks like they're only. Oh, yeah, they're running 2 recon squads in the transport.
Yeah, I mean, opening dispersion, quite a lot of people in the south, more than I was expecting.
Yeah, from both sides.
Yeah.
Chimera did commit a decent amount to the north there, but OP, actually, I mean, with that layout, it almost makes sense for OP to run in the south. I mean, Chimera doesn't necessarily need to quite as much. Looks like Chimera's got flares up.
So one thing about this Chimera opening, so they've pointedly not gone to the church. They've pointedly gone to the north or to the south. But OP BHB is able to have some guys in this courtyard over here. I mean, if
Chimera's
they
done
push
a
hard
pretty good
enough,
job keeping them from pushing across the courtyard.
yeah.
It looks like they've lost almost everything there in the middle. Still have a couple of pieces there. Really good MG position from Chimera too.
Yep. They're starting to sense that opening OPBHB, but I think at this point it's a little bit too late. They're starting to get into the church from Chimera.
Yeah, I think it looks right now like this cat is going to go to Chimera. They seem to have the control here. Push the 75 up. Where is PZ4? Up this road over here.
Was it there the whole time? That feels really slow getting to that position.
It was.
Okay. They were just holding the road, I guess.
Yep. It looks like the Stewart was lost somewhere in there. Oh no, the Stewart's wrapping around right now. Or Luke's, my bad. Looks like I know where the 75 is. Sorry to all the tankers out there who don't like when people call regular Sherman 75.
So immediate cap pressure on the next point from Chimera. I mean, they really don't have anything on defense.
That's just from the recon vehicle, it looks like.
Okay. That's not too bad then.
Is not going to be able to do anything about that. Yeah, it looks like if they did have a garrison up, that recon vehicle got it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, they definitely need to work on getting spawns back there in the defensive sector, because I mean, if Chimera comes with something.
Yeah, right up the gut.
Yeah.
And this is the issue. I mean, this is super reminiscent of the WTH match we played in, I think it was the last seasonal, on this point layout. The issue was that we overloaded the north, and then they just immediately started capping, and we just kept up this northern pressure, and we just allowed them to walk in gradually. We never transitioned our line, so I mean, OPBHB, as we say that, is actually pushing through on the north. So
OPBHB, now that Sherman went down, really needs to push that PZ4 in there to take advantage of this, because they could overrun Chimera right here with the support of that tank.
I think if they don't get this capture, I think they're in a lot of trouble, actually.
Yep.
Because that positioning, if they just wait too much in the north, and it's just completely open. You look at your map, it's completely open if they just send a couple guys straight into the point on Maison.
Yeah, they still don't even have anything outside of that strong point garrison.
Yeah.
I do have a 76 up now. That complicates things a bit. Yeah, Chimera still really has that strong control on the south side there.
Yeah, it really feels like maybe they were trying to transition too fast, and they just were caught unawares of how weak they were on the north.
I mean, in this layout, especially if you're Chimera, I think giving up the north is probably the preferable thing to do over giving up the south, but obviously losing control of the church
Yeah.
isn't necessarily part of that.
If you're going to purposely give control, you need people kind of just holding and camping a line of sight.
Right. It looks like this 76 is still hesitant to engage. I mean, at this point, OP is basically just saving up the fuel, just sitting in there controlling that road with that PZ4.
Yeah. I mean, I just think he's maybe feeling a little bit hesitant because there's not enough infantry around him. There's only a couple and they're kind of far back. He pushes up, he's a little bit exposed.
Yeah, it's just I mean, if no one's called out the Panther, I mean, and you can see the PZ4 there. I really just think that the 76 needs to push up with the infantry and more of a coordinated thing.
Do we know where the Panther is on the map?
Down by Rue. Looks like this garrison over here is hot. Just one squad lead.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like too much the 76 moving this way. Because once you start pushing along the south, where are you going to go? Are you going to go into the city from that approach? That just feels like a death trap. You don't have infantry control on the south. You don't really have any safe approach to get a shooting angle on anyone.
Yeah, that's not a great route for that Panther to take, especially since at the beginning of the match, Chimera controlled that road, and you know it's probably mined.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really just driving into Chimera-controlled area. I was pushing a little bit further south.
Interesting.
Looks like the PZ4 is still in the strong point, so they have an armor presence there. And I can see why it wouldn't be so urgent to get that Panther there to support, but at this point, the strong point's really getting wrapped by Chimera.
Yeah. Their OPBHB is trying to bypass like properly defending church by trying to go straight in on, I forget even what the next point is. Mason. So they're trying to bypass like totally securing around church. I mean, a lot of the OPs aren't actually flashing around church, so it's giving them the heads up to push through, but they just don't have enough control.
Yep. I mean, Chimera, it doesn't look like they're committing more than they need to defense, which is good to see. Especially when they're applying so much pressure on church.
Yeah.
A lot of inexperienced teams see that back point flashing and just overreact way too fast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're collapsing in pretty well.
The garrisons just leave a lot to be desired here.
Yeah.
I mean, just no spawns really. Decent OP placement along the back, but that south is still under a lot of pressure. Is there a tank battle over here? Is that just shelling infantry? What happened to that 76?
I didn't see it explode. I'm wondering if it pulled back a little bit once they got wind of the 70 or the Panther down south.
There it is. Just in time. Looks like he definitely knows where the Panther is. I'm not sure that the Panther knows where the 76 is. Rough time to get out.
Yeah, and the Panther's a bit too isolated now. I mean, Chimera got a rocket. They should be really calling out for the Panther to push, or the 76 to push him right now. And it looks like he is.
Yep.
So really good communication between the squads for combined arms. Really what you want to see.
Yep, that Panther looks like it's time
He's done
is
so.
up.
I'll just push him.
Probably getting confirmation on which way he's facing.
There you go.
And that will probably be the end of the push on Mason for the time being.
Yeah. At the same time, BHB has consolidated a lot of the defense around. There's still a couple of Chimera guys in the city, but it looks like for the main part, it's a big issue was that Chimera was, behind them to the west. They were to the north, and it seems like really there's just these last couple guys in this house.
Yep, and they're probably isolated. I don't see any OP or any more spawns around here. Looks like the garrison network is back up. The fight is really shifting southeast over here.
Yeah.
EZ4 goes down. I mean, they have plenty of fuel.
I wonder why they wouldn't be spawning on cooldown.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they even have another Panther moving up yet.
Yeah. What time is it in game?
111.
111. I mean, you should definitely have 2 Panthers up by now.
Especially when you know 76 is on the field.
Right.
I mean, I imagine that they were saving that second Panther for the 3 main crew. We just went down on the PZ4, so... Well, I guess 2 man and 1 woman crew.
Yeah.
Sorry, knocked.
Shut up, knocked. I guess the concern would be that Chimera would have like a roaming recon vehicle going HQ to HQ. I'm not 100% sure on the rules of this tournament, but I'm assuming they would allow HQ spawn camping.
Yeah, I don't think that there are any special rules.
Okay. So I guess that would be the threat.
76s now, though.
Yeah. So this is the problem. PBHB did a half decent job at clearing through and starting to transition, but Chimera's still spawning behind them now. and they have two 76s up. I mean, this is really going to be the push. There's no
I mean,
Panthers
they have
up.
a red zone here now. I'm not sure exactly where, but there's no way the commander just makes.
I think
his way
it's
around
to
there
that
like that.
compound in the bottom right of your screen. I think it's somewhere over here. Maybe a little bit farther that way, yeah.
There she is.
Yep. This is what we were talking about earlier. 35v35, you don't have the personnel to be watching for these wide flanks. I would really want the commander of Chimera to get a supply truck and drop something in hospice. Even if you're not going to use it right away, just get something up, because in SL goes, then he can start a push by himself. He doesn't have to worry about anything. Takes no time. You kind of just need to space OP BHB out so they're covering too many areas.
Yep. Looks like OP is working on getting a flank there.
Yeah. They actually have a pretty good assault going through right now. So they have this recon vehicle. They have someone pushing in the front door of Mason.
Supplies up ahead,
and then I think they had a squad pushing through Cemetery, it looked like. Although they may have been cleared out just now.
Yeah,
I wonder what
Cemetery would have been a great in this situation with those 76s pushed up so far.
Right. I wonder what Leaps is going to do in the south, if he's going to get a garrison up.
So he's got his OP there.
Yeah, do a double drop.
Commander's working on a forward garrison, but they have lost control of the north, looks like. And then with that southwest red zone, they could really get pinched here. Tits is probably the only one blocking that spot. Oh no, doesn't look like he is blocking it. Just an OP there. Not sure if they have a red zone garrison in the north.
Definitely feels like they have a OP to the far west of Church. Or at least they did. I don't know if it's been sniffed out yet.
They have this one here.
Okay.
Not sure if they have any more.
I really like OPs like that, where it's like, yes, it's in the open, but it's in such a weird spot that infantry really doesn't push through enough.
Yep. I mean, as a recon player, that's the whole thing. Just throw it in a bush in the middle of a field.
Yeah, no one runs near it.
Yeah, it's basically you only risk it getting cleared when a truck is driving up or something.
Yeah. That would be the concern, to make sure your squad has the discipline to not shoot right off the OP to give it away. You need to move off of it and then move in like a... You don't want to move straight off the OP ever in a spot like that. You want to move a little bit to the south and then move east, so it looks like you're coming from a different area.
Yeah, I mean, that tunnel vision as infantry makes it really hard. You just want to run right back to where you just died and re-engage.
Get them back.
Yep. OP's really swept through here.
Yeah.
I mean, Chimera could come back up through with a push, but without that front line, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Happening.
So we saw a Kenoshi on the west side from Chimera. I know he's typically a tanker. I'm wondering if one of those 76s went down, or if he's just playing infantry for this round.
He's been in infantry the entire game, as far as I could see. I've
Okay.
seen him a few times back here playing support.
Okay. I wonder if he'll be playing flex then.
Both 76s are still up. OP has one Panther. Looks like over
Playing
here
safe.
trying to spot that out. Oh, it took some damage from somewhere. Maybe a mine? I don't know. It's repaired now. So that south OP just got cleared. That must have been the deflection now. That. I don't know whose that was, but that's got to give them some sort of warning.
Yeah. It is kind of concerning that it seems like OPBHB is more leaning forward instead of making sure it's fully cleared first. Because it could soon turn dangerous. A couple kills going towards Chimera, and they're going to start camping again.
Yeah, I mean, I think with 35v35, it's really hard to establish dominance in an entire active sector, and especially on a point like SME. I mean, it's very hard to say that everywhere is clear and you're good to move up. It's kind of just a race almost. Like they do have a front line established, and they pushed all the way east through the church. So, I mean, that checks most of the boxes for me. Looks like that Panther is engaging, and it looks. Did he take one of them down with him? Nope. He's over here getting blown up by
Getting harassed. Oh, there we go. It always hurts to see a tank go on its own like that. I mean, they have no infantry support near cemetery in any way.
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to transition up to the troops that were more to the north, but yeah. You got to call for infantry to run through. They do start the cap though. It seems like a pretty easy call back though for OPBHB.
Yeah, this bombing round doesn't seem like the best timing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really have a push going. They don't really even have a defense going.
I mean, they have a couple of people on the front line, I guess.
Yeah, but nothing that warrants a bombing round, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, unless they got the garrison, unless they had that targeted. Did they get that double drop on Leaps' OP?
It doesn't look like it. There's no supplies there yet. That's Galber's now. Not sure where Leaps went.
Okay.
Looks like he's making his way back up. Must have got cleared.
Yeah, if Galber makes his way back, I would really want him to get a double drop in that creek so they can start pushing it from the other side.
Once you fight past church on this to the east side as Axis, I mean, you really can't give up those buildings. It looks like I'm not sure where OP went from here, but they definitely needed to maintain control of this area to prevent Chimera from reestablishing their front line. Got a second Panther moving up, along with PZ4. And Chimera is bringing their second 70. Nope, it's a medium. They're really at a stalemate right now. I mean, this format kind of allows just the constant trading of areas. And you
Yeah.
really need a lot of coordination to get a solid push going.
So if you open your map up though, what I would say is that it feels like OPBHB is kind of prepping the all-in here, because at least from my point of view, I would say that SME as a point in this format is kind of untenable to hold for a long period of time. You really don't want to be holding it and just keeping that as defense.
Yep.
So they're doing a decent job of kind of encircling on the point. They have H at the bottom. They have A on the right. You know, you need to get your garrisons up so you can start exerting actual pressure. But, you know, it's kind of a ticking time bomb. You see Chimera starting pressure on SME proper, and, you know, they needed to get that attack going, or, you know, all in on defense before we can start that attack going.
Looks like Chimera just took out their southwest garrison. They could get a solid attack going right now. I mean, the area immediately south of Church and east of Church is pretty enemy controlled at this point. They have their medium pushed up in here. About to be met by the PZ4 though.
Yep. I like this aggressive tank play in this format. You can just chuck tanks up. It doesn't really matter. At least you're like light and medium tanks.
And that PZ4 looks like it's about to be satchel. Oh, team kill.
You got him.
That's a bummer. Were they able to get that 76 down here?
I think it's they called it precision strike. Yeah.
It's down.
Yeah, they got it with the precision strike. But I mean they're kind of committing a bit too much too late. I mean I would really want to just full redeploy everyone on Mason back to SME.
Yeah. I mean they need to.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why they would continue attacking.
Yeah, the draw for Mason is there, but you can't have people sitting in the point at this late in the cap.
Yeah. Large spawn coming out from OPBHB. They really need to get into the hard cap. I wonder if they'll flood into that 3-story on the north side to get into that corner. If you don't know, right
really their only approach here.
Yeah, if you don't know, right inside that house where they're at, that's just inside hard cap, like right inside the attic.
Yeah. Yep. All the way at the edge of it.
Yeah. They had a couple people push out. I would have, at that point in the cap, I would have just sat people in that attic and just hoped and prayed. But yeah, a little bit too hungry for that Mason cap, and they just didn't have it timed well enough.
Infidel really needs to go reestablish his OP here. That bombing round was exactly placed wrong to not kill that spawn away.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's any early pressure on Rue. I haven't really seen any flares from OP, have you?
Nope, I have not.
I saw one earlier to the northwest of Church over here, but...
Are both recon OPs in enemy territory?
Yeah, I mean, one's just to the northwest over here.
That's a little weird.
check out Artie real quick. Yeah, it looks like they're just committed to one gun. I mean, I assume that Freak Fighter's keeping them down, which is why they don't have both going, but... Yeah, without dedicated defenders, it's probably very hard to keep recon up.
I mean, 2 people sounds about right. You try to keep 1 up when you can, and then if you can get 2 up, that's great, but...
Sorry, Freak.
Sorry. I mean, really, it's just a brawl over the city right now. There's really no... They're so intermingled right now, and you would actually have to almost reset your own forces to properly clear out the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just constantly trading. Like, you push through one area, clear the enemy out, and then you move on to the next, and the enemy just fills in behind you.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of a defense, you really wouldn't push out at all. You would just have people almost on the 4 corners of that compound and just look every which way to catch people crossing or pushing.
They have a pretty decent foundation for a push here. 2 SLs plus the medium. I mean, unless that thing gets satcheled right now.
I don't know, you gotta jump on. There we go.
Get it?
Just gotta jump on top of the tank.
That's on. Oh, not quite.
Oh man, you gotta jump on the tank, man. Oh, here's the chance. Oh, no, he's reversing. No.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's brutal. I mean, they know he's around there now, too. He had his chance.
Have rockets? You can pen that thing from the front.
Did he get it? I think he got it on.
Yep, he did.
Yep.
I mean, they gotta know it's there, but there's no way they can get out safely right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he's gotta run into his own guys.
Entice.
I mean, at this point of the tank, if you know that you're satchel, just sprint it into the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of enemy to sprint it into.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because they're half capped at this point.
Yeah. Check the map. I'm wondering if they're just overcommitting again.
I mean, they lost all the... I mean, I think their biggest problem here was that they had the garrison inside, or right next to the strong point. So
yeah,
once that thing got taken out, it's like the closest spawn is 200 meters, and
yeah,
that's a huge run. It's just unfortunate for Chimera that they weren't able to get a spawn up of their own.
Yeah, I mean it completely resets them though. So even though they're not getting the cap this way around or this time around, they're going to be able to clear them out a lot more on SME. That's what I would put a lot more of my energy into if I was Chimera. Not trying to lean forward so much, but clearing out through SME, taking out their launch garrisons, and then you're able to attack properly.
We do have a red zone over here.
This is pretty much a full recall on defense.
Yeah, and now this garrison here is going down. And there's really not much Tits can do about it. He's surrounded.
Yep.
for an enemy garrison on the front line here. Yep. I mean, if they put a lot of energy into that front line, they could potentially recall some more of these squads back, but I doubt that's happening now that they have cap pressure over here. Chimera still has pretty strong control, though. I mean, I don't see OP capping in this scenario, not without at least having the north.
So what's really important to me is that the OP BHB squad in the south, they're getting pinched in from the south as well, from further south. Yeah. So they're trying to push north, and then there's people coming right up from behind them, clearing out their spawn points.
I love seeing that from teams, like the turnaround back into the front line. Yeah. Because realistically, the front line is up here at this point. Like, Chimera does have some presence further up, but this is where the majority of the engagement is going.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's very important that Chimera moves back through to clear out those OPs from behind.
I would say that's probably one of the biggest differences at a strategic level between maybe some of the mid-tier teams and the higher-tier teams, is being able to do that regularly, to pinch in on their attack.
Well, it's being able to do that like on every individual infantry, like on that level, like knowing when that's necessary.
Yeah. And then the level beyond that is trying to counter that, which is it's just like next to impossible, or it's just so uncomfortable having to watch your back at all times, and it's just really hard to counter. So
yeah, I mean, at some point you just realize that you need to reset, and that's another thing that I think a lot of people don't do enough, because it seems counterproductive. But if you're getting shot from multiple angles and one of them is behind you between, your OP and your frontline garrison, then resetting.
Yeah, I'd like to put the camera just like right here over SME and just kind of watch the progression, because I think this leads into what we've been talking about, where they're just slightly making progress, but Chimera's all around them, and they're just a little bit too deep into what they're trying to do to cut their losses and reset to make a proper push. Because they're just everywhere. They're all around. They're not supporting each other. The squads are completely isolated. It's impossible for two different elements to actually help each other out, and save for like a huge kill advantage, this is just never. It would just be super hard to make this work. Also, you tapped out. Okay. I joined Crab, but he's not sharing a screen. I messaged him like 10 minutes ago to share a screen, but he won't. Oh well. Yeah. Something been, I mean, OPBHB, it's like, it feels like a little bit too much like a moth drawn to a flame. They're just so eager to get into this hard cap, and Chimera's just everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, especially on a point like this, like the hard cap is realistically the worst tactical place to be.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control anything from the hard cap, but you can control the hard cap from literally everywhere else around it.
Yeah. It's really the last place you go to capture the point. It's almost the very last place that you want to go, especially with the amount of people that you're dealing with.
Looks like a double Panther push here.
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan of like multiple armor pushes, especially heavies. Like, if the enemy is wary about how many heavies you have on the field, you know, why give them the opportunity to see both in one go?
Mm-hmm. I would say I'm definitely a fan of a heavy medium push or a heavy light tank push, where the medium or light tank is really just playing as a supportive role.
Yeah.
To splash people trying to satchel them. I mean, especially moving through a city. It feels pretty good, but I mean, where are those Panthers going? They're going all the way around? They're going to cemetery?
Like it. I mean, they're gonna run right into this medium here. Well, that thing's dead.
Ugh.
Does Chimera have 76 up right now? Ooh.
Man, something shot him.
That's that medium. Really good. Yeah, he's gone. Quick little escape there. That was some nice driving.
I feel like we really haven't seen a Chimera tank die recently. I'm wondering where the 76s are.
Yeah, me too.
Unless they've just been destroyed by backline attacks? Or the Panthers have maybe out-traded them? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe they pushed up. Either that or infantry. Just took them out around SME.
I feel like if the Panthers stay too long here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they're waiting for another peek on that Sherman, but that thing's long gone. Hope he's making quite a bit of progress here on the west side, though.
Yeah, it's all proxy cap, though. And they did get reset. Oh, I mean, they are defending now.
Oh, sorry, word. I think I'm cursed.
Streamer's curse. Yeah, I mean, unintentionally, they have a much stronger push going on right now. They got completely reset. They pushed through the city as one large line, and now they have the complete north side. I mean, in terms of capping the point, whether you know, if you can't take both sides, if you want the north or the south, you undoubtedly want the north. It has easier access to. It has a shorter run. You can smoke the road a lot easier to push across from. I mean, this is... Yep. Definitely. Mhm.
Looks like a panther just went down.
Yeah, this push just feels so bizarre to me.
Yep, there's 6.
Yeah, I mean the Panthers are marked. They're try to duel a medium that's slipping in between. It's just you can't really flank with a heavy tank.
Yeah. I mean, with a panther, that's arguable, but probably not in a comp game either way.
Yeah. Or let's just say it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say that. I mean, the Panther has no one near him from Chimera. He's kind of going right by the 76. I wonder if he
Will
hears
they
him.
spot that garrison? It looks like they're just gonna drive right past each other. Alright. Alright, I think OP's probably got this cap.
Yep. I think there was some decent Chimera spawns on the hard cap, but I think the stream's a little wonky for me, but I think it was Keeps. And Roncon just made their way from the north side, just straight into the hard cap, wiped everything. A big spawn from Chimera on the south, but too little too late. DU and Triple D are already sniffing it out.
OP's doing a really good job of spreading out and taking control immediately after this cap.
Yep. I would say, though, that the thing that would have stopped this is a Chimera Hospice garrison.
Yeah.
If they just had one up there, even though you feel like it's useless, if you just had one, you've been able to reset behind them and just completely wipe out their attack.
Yep.
And now it's just
I'm guessing the Panther just got marked.
Yeah.
76 is maneuvering. Trouble now. Doesn't look like this push is gonna last very long.
I'm liking this all in right now.
Wow, yeah.
On this one.
That's a really nice push. This is just down over 76.
Good some, but there's no defense. All the infantry flopped up. That was a really great flex forward by OP BHB.
That was a clutch. Oh, I thought that was a garrison. Is there a garrison here? Doesn't look like it. Back here, there probably is. Wow, yeah. That was a nice little lead project. Another Panther's on the way out. Unless that's a PZ4.
Oh, the defense? A huge spawn in the south. Look at that.
Ooh.
Oh no, the cap back in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, they took the all in.
Yep, they took the all in. There's no one back here.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
I'm afraid to look at last word for too long. I get killed.
We'll just instantly die.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the recon cap. I mean.
Okay. I mean, they're starting capture progress again on Maison. They're all getting into the hard cap. So,
Yeah,
I feel like Chimera had. Yeah, I think Chimera had kind of been wasting their bombing runs a little bit. Like, this is a more wide open point. It's a lot easier to get a lot of value for your bombing run.
Yeah.
Compared to just dropping it on SME City.
And then, I mean, beyond just the 4-1 advantage that comes with any match, like, having Maison as Axis is crazy when it comes to the Axis advantage.
Yeah, what is there? There's 2 ways to push, right?
Yeah, I mean,
there's like the river,
and
and then the north side.
That river's not even really pushable. I mean, you pretty much you come up the road here, or from Cemetery, but there's no like truly viable way to push if OP really tries to dig in.
Yep. You really have to dig your heels in on the south Chimera to make sure you're not displaced out of this little compound.
Yeah. If they can hold their position there, they have a chance of taking this back. Because, I mean, OP can't really leave the strong point.
No, not yet.
If they remain in the south there. Looks like they're just jumping at crossroads already too.
Oh, I love this. Let me just stay in the hard cap on Maison and they're just gunning for it for the 5-0.
Yeah.
This would actually be pretty spectacular if they start capping here and get the 5-0. I mean, there's a lot of people up here.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, it's definitely more than a little risky, and with only 35 players on the map to be flexing this many people back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's even lighting up at Maison yet. I imagine that they're still in the south, but there's no real push going on here yet.
I feel like if stuff starts to light up in Maison, then it's already over though. Because they're all packed in right into the hard cap. I mean, there's really no one here. Man. The Panther goes down. Yeah, and I think the Panther just went down, didn't it? To the west of Maison. Huge play from that Chimera player. I mean, he can just run straight in and... Yeah. Why? The Discord stream is... I can't even see anything. Hardly. But, I mean, he's just going to run straight in here and get a couple OPs and... give you lights out.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's trouble. Their only other garrison is through a wide open field here.
Yep, and he gets him.
Yep.
There's no one left. What a clutch play.
Yeah, I think that's it for Maison. Oh?
You get the OP
spawn. Still up.
Oh, he gets him.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to last very long, though. They need a 10 man or something.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's redeploying back. I mean, Chimera needs to full shift forward.
Sorry, Keith. Sorry, round down.
Man, it would be really bad if Chimera's already on SME.
It looks like they're already jumping back. Make sure they're not there.
Okay, that's good. You know, good conservative play from OPBHB. A little overzealous on trying to get the 5-0 too quick, but
yeah.
Cutting your losses when, hey, you know, we only have one OP up. Everyone get back to SME. Let's not lose this cap, or you know, lose the match.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like having Mason is such a boon for OP, so it kind of sucks that. Well, I mean, it looks like they're defending now.
Wow, this is crazy. I mean, where are the Chimera spawns coming?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're already trying to push SME.
No, are they back at their 5th point?
Definitely still too committed back here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point with 28 minutes on the map, and you have so much pressure on Mason, just redeploy. They should have redeployed 5 minutes ago to get back to Mason.
I mean, there's at least 2 OPs back here, probably Garrison.
Yeah, I think it's all the way in the south. Like in that little wheat field hedge. I would think so.
I don't see one. Maybe they don't
No?
have a Garrison, but...
Wow. I mean, that's not great. But they'll still cap without it.
Yeah, I mean, OP's set up for an immediate push again. Make sure that Rondo is clear on SME.
I really like this map control from OPBHB. I think there was that Chimera guy to the west, though, on the west side of the city, in the active sector.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that could be trouble for him.
I mean, no one's really watching that way.
There's no Garrison over there to light up.
Yep. And this is another thing that a lot of teams make the mistake of, is that you're trying to get that, like, a line of basically radars. Whether OPs or garrisons, you need the detection. You don't always need the people there, but you need to be able to detect if someone's moving behind you.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you need to use those squad slots, like literally just to place an OP somewhere for a radar.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, imagine if they had an OP in that intersection. Oh, someone's there.
Yeah.
We already know. You know, instead of it almost being too late.
Gosh, sorry, Leaves.
Poor Leaps. This form is actually a lot of fun, though, because it's you just can't play defense properly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of trading.
Feels like you really need to like master the switch of when you're going all in or not.
I can't tell if this Panther's running from the Sherman.
Feels like it. Is that a medium?
Does he not know it's there?
Isn't he wounded from the medium?
Well, no, the medium is wounded from AT. I don't think he knows it's there.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
that
huge
should have been,
pickup.
That should have been marked. There was an engineer trying to satchel that thing, so there's no
Yeah.
reason why. I think it was Roncon.
Yeah, they definitely should have known. I mean, that's a huge pickup.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that every day. I mean, it can't get much better than killing a heavy tank and a medium. It's really...
Especially a Panther at that.
Yeah. I do like that OPBHB is keeping their foot on the pedal. They're keeping up the attack. I know Chimera had commented when they played against us is that some of the issue was you can't attack if you're all defending, and if you're just defending too much, you know, you're just on the back foot. You can't really do anything. You're just playing fully reactionary.
Yep, it's a constant give and take.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'd love a garrison on hospice right now from Chimera. I've just been begging for this garrison all game. Just, I mean, OPBHB has a garrison on hospice now, but they just got it up there.
Chimera's recon has been doing some work.
Yeah.
Down a fuel and a munitions now.
Interesting.
The tank crew right here. Spawning infantry.
Just waiting for the next heavy, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you're just, you know, I know it never feels good to split your attack, but a hospice push would just feel so good right now. Just to try to wrap them, make them fall back, let them weaken the front line to deal with this behind pressure. Because right now, if you're just keeping a front to, you know, like a front to back, just front line grinding, OPBHB wins this all day.
Yeah.
Not just because I wouldn't say necessarily that they have the huge superiority of winning or of shooters, but you know, they're just defending. They have the better sight lines right now. Cemetery is super easy to push through his axis. This kind of south side near checkpoint, you know, super advantageous for OPBHB right now because you're just holding this. You're holding the road. You're holding the river. Frontline push benefits OPBHB all day here.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say that a hospice should be the front line in this lineup. Like, you have a wide open void between basically cemetery and hospice. So, you know, your front line gets split no matter how you do it.
I mean, they did cap SMB before Chimera did, but they had their best success when they were behind them. They were to the north of them. They were, you know, mixing the front line. This clear cut line and grinding forward is not benefiting them too well.
Yeah, it looks like they still have that one SL trying to work his way around, but he's getting hunted now.
Yeah, he's got a double drop. Go farther north, double drop, so you can get some space for your garrison.
Yep.
He's sneaking up. Should hear him through the hedge line. He knows he's somewhere over there. I don't think Strikeout knows.
He did. He said something in local.
Really? Oh, well. Nice sniffing it out by Strikeout there.
This OP could be a big move here.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned that he was pushing north. Yeah, he's pinching in. That's great. He needs to pinch into the cemetery to wipe their spawns.
Yep. I'm surprised that OP's making it across this field here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
almost
had control of both points, right? They had control of checkpoint. Sorry, cemetery. They had control of the kind of the west side in that city. It's just, I don't know. How much time is left?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Chimera could very well come back. I mean, if OPBHB isn't careful and they keep the attack on for too long, then there is some openings. I mean, a lot of stuff is starting to light up. It looks like they are kind of spreading out and playing in that whack-a-mole defense. I know OP loves to call it. And OP gets wiped out directly on SME. The garrison gets hot. Oh, it gets cleared.
Yeah, I mean, Chimera really needs to get offensive here. If they can clear them out of cemetery, I mean, that's a great start. But 19 minutes left to run that time.
Yeah. OP BHB do have quite a lot of people back, though. I mean, they're exerting quite a bit of pressure on the front, but they have a decent amount back. It's not like they're just leaving it open anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely less committed to take Mason now.
Yep. And they're also doing a lot better with their OP and garrison spread to as radars. Yep. They mark the one position
immediately.
Yep.
Is there
great
even
mark.
a garrison here?
No, but it's where they're spawning from.
Yeah. There's the OP. This squad lead's doing a really good job making sure that his position stays alive. I mean, just hanging back, protecting the OP, letting people spawn. It's just unfortunate that he's not getting more spawns on his OP.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's he can do as much as he wants. He's never going to break an opening unless he gets a full squad or close to it. I mean, they got a PC4 hunting for him. They got like 5 infantry up here. Yeah, they finally got him.
Yeah.
He should wipe his OP soon. Yep. Should made his way to hospice.
Looks like we got some hospice pressure here.
You mean checkpoint?
Or checkpoint, yeah.
I'm really liking this wide defense from OPBHB right now. I mean, they're just keeping them so distracted on this front line push.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chimera can't really get a foothold. Like, they need to spearhead one of the positions before they get this spread out.
I mean, they are, I mean, they did push through cemetery now. It'll be interesting to see how much they transition up to this push. I actually quite like this push if you're able to get into the houses around this area. I think if OPBHB, I would really prefer them to, at least for defense, put a squad like half in that compound, half maybe a little bit to the north, watching east, and just playing, you know, just shooting them as they try to approach this kind of outer city.
Yeah.
That just makes it the easiest for them. Because you're just playing the crossroads and everything, instead of letting them get into the city. I don't know how much farther I would want them to push. I think if they just sit right here for the rest of the game, then they're solid. I don't think they want to push for the 4-1.
Yeah, I agree.
Just sit here and take your W.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, like, they're extended out to where they need to be, really everywhere.
Yeah. With the amount of time left, they're playing it perfectly. You don't need to attack and throw the game away for 14 minutes. You already had your chance. You lost it on Mason. I don't know if this league counts capture points. Do you know if they do?
I have no idea.
Even if they do, you take it. You take the W. Bar a miracle happening. Maybe not necessarily a miracle, but save some really stellar plays from Chimera. I don't quite see them being able to capture back at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's too hard to break through, like, these positions that OP got into.
Yeah. You just need a lot more time to be able to do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, they could really, really overload. Like, that, if they were to recognize that OP is in such a defensive posture, they could, like, thoroughly overload this outpost back here. And kind of shake things up a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, they have a squad back there. It looks like OPBHB knows they have a squad back there.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to abandon that garrison as soon as he built it.
Yep, RIP.
Wonder if he has another crate in there and he's just trying to get it out.
I think he got his first crate around Western. I think that's how they got reestablished back there after the OP got wiped. That would be my guess, though. Yeah, at some point I would want like a full redeploy from almost a full redeploy from Chimera on like a Western garrison and just try to make one last charge and hope they don't respond fast enough.
They're making quite a bit of progress here, though. I mean,
yeah,
they've kind of just skirted those houses, and they're just trying to get to the south side again.
Yeah, a little bit questionable from OPBHB for not covering this angle. Maybe they just got distracted by this tank, and they're just looking for it.
That'd be my guess. Oh yeah, they wrapped him. They're definitely distracted by the tank.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so many people over there. And now, what is that? Chimera Maximus right there on the south side of the hard cap. He's gonna get his OP up, and it's pretty much uncontested.
Yep. And then it looks like this Panther's dead.
He's hurt.
He was an assault guy here. Maybe he doesn't have the loadout.
Oh no.
Nice shot.
I mean, Chimera's making all the right pushes right now.
Yeah,
I mean, OPBHB is kind of out of position on the east. They're making this really wide wrap to the east for. I don't really understand. You're not going to attack Mason. There's 10 minutes left. What are you doing?
If they didn't move, I think they probably would have been fine. But it's that constant like thought that you have to, continue pushing the enemy out of their position, where eventually you lose your own.
It's almost like they got like baited to just like keep pushing through, and Chimera just said, "Thank you. I'll just come in right behind you."
Yeah, probably not intentional, but it worked out pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. It's gonna come down to the last few minutes if they do an all in on the last point or on SME. In the last few minutes here. I feel like I'd be screaming in command chat right now at those people.
Yeah.
Why are you east of cemetery?
Especially
Okay,
now that they know
Yeah,
what kind of presence is there.
yeah. I like the recon for the flare gun.
There goes
I would have liked to
vest
see
for the armor.
Yeah. I mean, that spotter at this point should really just be redeploying and shooting it all over the city to find out where they're coming from.
Yeah. That's really hard to think to do in the moment, though. Especially when you're capped with pressure.
Yeah. I mean, for the flare gun, I feel like the meta has kind of developed a little bit slowly on that. I feel like the best teams are using it for defense first, rather than offense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if OPBHB was just doing these flare guns all through the city, through this entire match, they would have sniffed out every attack super easily. It's just been a little bit slow on that.
Ooh, look at that wave.
I like that.
Yep, they're definitely last chance in it here, but OP has the lead in cap.
Just one guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a strong push there. They have the east and the west.
I mean, they did what they needed to. They're doing the full redeploy. I mean, they have the ability to take this.
Yeah,
They just need to win their
definitely do.
gunfights.
I mean, if they take down that north garrison, I think OP would be hard pressed to defend.
Yeah. I think there's just maybe a little bit too many spawns from OPBHB that are still up.
Yeah.
I think this would have. I mean, they're still capping, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to take the point in the next 3 or 4 minutes, but it's a strong start. If that first wave can take down some of those closer spawns to the hard cap, push OP on the south side, then I think they have a shot. Still winning it before the game's over.
Yeah, I mean they're getting into the hard cap. They're getting into the church. Wow.
Ooh,
does he get it?
Saved it. Way to go, Leaps.
Leaps with the savior play. Wow, really just flickering back and forth. Seems like OPPHB is just really heavy in the south right now. But they're getting wrapped from farther in the south. They're getting pinched in. They have no one looking south, it looks like.
Yeah. That garrison's going down. Oh!
Yep.
What an unfortunate timing there. Oh, he was taking it down. That could have been both garrisons.
Yeah, that would have been huge. And they just need to keep running from the south, get all 3 OPs.
I mean, unless we get some really well-timed spawns here.
Yeah, and I think those people spawned on the garrison instead. I mean, Chimera's just... I mean, they really clawed their way back at, I mean, 15 minutes ago, I would have said no chance that they get through, and they're making OPBHB work for it.
Yeah.
Huge Panther coming out, though.
Yeah. I mean, they do still have a 76 back here, and it looks like he knows where that Panther is.
Yeah.
It's possible that he's got a satchel on him now.
Oh, no.
I don't see him.
I think he's just hurt. Oh my god, they're crossing the open fields. Where the, Yeah, I just want the Panther to sit right there. Don't move anywhere else.
That's a scary snapshot right there.
Yep. Oh my god.
That Panther's in
If this Panther goes down. Yeah. You just need to stay back. Oh, he kills him though.
And there's the 76.
Oh no. Oh, that was huge. 76 just needs to roll directly onto the south side or the north side and just completely control access into the church.
This North Garrison
Just stack
went
into the
down.
hard cap. Oh, there's people there though.
Leaps has got to get that new one up. Otherwise, they're in big trouble.
He needs to get up and then just stay on
Keep
it.
it up, yeah.
Oh my god. I think they're gonna do it.
I mean,
I think
is
that
there
Panther
even
going
anything
down.
going on? Like, there's no one at Maison right now.
No.
I mean, why would you be? But, like, you always see, like, the stragglers, you know, just trying to do, like, the single-man caps.
Yeah. Try to keep him honest.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think they're gonna get the garrison. Oh no. Leaps takes him down from the window, I think.
Yeah. And... Oh, he's not going to be able to get him. Is he out of grenades?
No. He can't see him.
Oh, man. He's got to build a new one.
Oh, he got... It might be too late though.
Oh,
I mean,
the satchel takes out the supplies. That was fantastic.
I mean, OPBHB is starting to flood through. They're trying to go through the open ground. Can Chimera just cover the open fields? Or cover the entrances? Oh my god.
I mean, the only... There's that... Leaps is OP on the north. In a good position. And then these two OPs in the south are pretty heavily flanked. I mean, those guys are basically battling the ones around him. They can't push church.
They're gonna do it. Oh my god.
What an upset.
Chimera really pulling it out. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man, that push to the east of Cemetery was just killer. I mean,
Jeez.
and that's it.
That is the game. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean to talk through like the series of events that allowed that to happen. I mean, the east side pushes too far, allowing Chimera to just undercut them. It looks like not only did they undercut them, but they also took out their launch spawns on the east side of SME. And then there was just no one there. And then they were still to the west of SME, so they got behind that garrison that Leaps was trying to get up like 3 times. And every time they got up, they were just to the north of them because they never fully cleared it out.
Yep.
Yeah. That was great. I mean, and Chimera was able to get back to what they were doing at the beginning. They just get all around them. They can't control the map as well with 35 people, and you just get all around in the city, and it's just impossible to control. Oh, what a capture.
Yeah, that was quite the push there at the end. I mean, I think it comes down to just like kind of rough micro tactics there from OP, like not holding the spots they needed to hold and getting a little too aggressive and distracted really with those tanks on the east side.
Yeah, and the Panther pushing through, like, just stay back. Right, just stay defensive and just cut down the infantry as they're crossing the open field to get into the church. There's no reason to push forward.
Yeah.
It just gets so difficult to do that. Yeah, I mean, Chimera pretty much did everything right at the end. They took advantage. OP gave them the ability to push through, and they really just took advantage. They smelt the blood. They took the openings that they could. You can't really ask much more than that.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Format is definitely a lot more interesting. Because it's just way easier to punish.
You wanna? Looks like crowd just got off. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Good game, OP, BHB, and Chimera. This was APAI round 5. Thanks, Sal, for joining me.
Absolutely.
All right, take it easy.
Hey.